Alright, well, normally I wouldn't show this in a video, but what I'll normally do to give myself a bit of a warm up, especially with a new tee, is because I got 11, 12 balls there. I'll usually just take like 2 each, just sort of put them in a random spot around the field and just sort of try and get a feel for the tee. So just like something simple like that. Like just sort of get a feel for the height of the tee, like how much power you need to put into it, stuff like that. So because the actual goal kicking from the sideline in this video was so bad, like I think I only landed like 3. Figured I might as well just chuck this in at the end for you guys, because I actually didn't do this time, which I think is one of the reasons where I really messed up. Because, you know, whenever you're trying a new tee, you always need that little bit of practice just to get used to it, you know. All right, but just a tip for up and coming goal kickers and stuff like that, don't do what I do. Like obviously for the video's sake, I'll head straight to the sideline, but you know, that's purely for video's sake, you know. Like if you want to actually practice, where is it? There. Yeah, like if you want to actually practice, you know, and get better at your goal kicking, do this. Like before every session where you're like going to go to the sideline and practice your further kicks, like just take 2 or 3 from little spots around the field, just to get a feel for it, you know. Just get used to it again. Yeah, so don't do what I do and just head straight for the sideline, because I can promise you it does not work. And that's just someone that tried to do that when he was younger, so. Oh no. See, and that's what I mean. So like right there, I set that ball up how I would normally set it up from the sideline. All right, and so because of that, because of the way that, at least right now, the way I'm feeling I need to kick with this tee, I can't set it up like that, because the angle that the ball sits at on the tee, I need to hit it in a slightly different spot, which means I need to angle the ball a little bit differently, and thus angle my run up a little bit differently. All right, so it's just those little things like that that you're going to learn as you practice and as you goal kick more. Yeah, see, so there you go. All right, so I've learned, like from the sideline as well, but even just from this little section just here, just because of the way the ball sits on this tee, you need to sort of hit it a little bit more on the underside as opposed to the point. So let's try that from another spot and see if we have the same results, eh? All right, but yeah, so again, just because of what I learned over there and from in front, you know, just sort of angle the ball a little bit differently. So I'll sit it up a little bit nicer, still do my normal walk back. See, the way I kick, I think I need to angle this a little bit more to the left, just a touch. Yeah. Hopefully, I slot this. Hopefully. Yeah, there you go, straight through. Yeah, it's just those little things like that. So normally I wouldn't put this in the video, but because the kicks from the sideline was so bad, I think I might limit the ones from the sideline, and this can be sort of like a bit of an info video, eh? Instead, just to give you guys sort of a bit of an insight as to what I do when I'm learning a new tee and testing stuff out. Because I feel like this sort of stuff's interesting for people. So normally I would aim just outside the right post, but because of how this ball sits on the tee, so normally I would hit this side panel here, right? But because the ball has to sit a bit higher, I've only got that little spot there to hit. So I'm gonna aim it a little bit more in line with the right post, or a little bit on the inside of the right post, because I'm hitting a little bit more direct on the point as opposed to that side panel. All right, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Whoops. See, that right there, I hit side panel. And you can tell I hit side panel because the ball is pointed so high up like that, it's going to be very difficult to get curl on it. So if you're hitting that side panel, it's just going straight to the left. So that's what I've learnt now with this. I need to hit much more on point as opposed to on side. So let's try do that. Again, it's very hard to get out of your normal habits. Like for me, hitting the side panel is just what I do, right? It's what I'm used to. But sometimes you need to adapt. All right, so just taking that little 2-3 seconds, 2-3 minutes, just to try it out from different spaces, different areas, you know, that can be the difference maker for you on a weekend, like, you know, on the weekend when you're playing. All right. Yeah, just to end it off, take it out to maybe the 35-40, and just sort of see roughly how much power I'd need to put on a kick. So where I kick from on the sideline, like when I kick from the sideline, I'm usually about 22 meters out. So that 22 meters out from the sideline roughly ends up being about probably 35-40 meters. All right, it ends up being about 35-40 meters. All right, for anyone that's, you know, in school doing their math classes, you should understand what is it, Pythagoras theorem or whatever it is, you know, like the a squared equals c or whatever it is. All right, because you got to think, so from the middle of the post to the sideline is about 35 meters, and then I'm dropping back another 22. So that gives me a range of probably about 35 to 40 meters of distance to get to the posts. All right, so with every tee, I like to sort of sit in that range. So I sit at the 40 because that's sort of like the peak of my range, like when it comes to kicking from the sideline at least. And then I can just like chuck the ball on the tee. I'm not really setting it up properly, but you can just chuck the ball on the tee and just sort of get a gist of how much power you should be putting on your kicks. So, right, so I just tapped that, and honestly from the sideline, that probably would have been just a bit short, right? Because of that, because I've just tapped it, I know that I probably need to put a little bit more power on it when it comes to kicking. Just again, because of my technique, because of the way the ball sits, I can't connect with it the way I normally would. So I need to slightly adjust my setup so that I'm hitting the ball optimally and getting, you know, the most distance for the amount of effort I'm putting into my kicks. All right. So we're going to go in, put a bit more power on it, and then that one sails over. All right, but that's little things like that. Like at the end of the day, as a kicker, you're going to have your technique. Right? Now, whether that technique be you take 3 steps back, 5 to the side, 5 steps back, 2 to the side, whatever that technique may be, depending on the circumstances that you're in, you may need to alter it a little bit. So for me personally, I've always been I didn't just disconnect it, did I? No, we're good. All right. But for me personally, I've always been a 5 back, 3 to the side, and then 1 little half step back. That's what I've always done. But with this tee, I need to adjust that a little bit because, as I've mentioned, because the ball has to sit a little bit higher, I can't hit that side panel like I normally would. So if anything, I should be going 5 steps back, maybe 2.5 to the side. So I'm a little bit more forward on, so I'm hitting that point of the ball a bit nicer. All right, so let's see how that goes. All right, that's not going to make it because of the wind, but yeah. And again, little stuff like that, where I'm just slightly changing my run, it is going to affect your balance. All right, it might even affect your accuracy a little bit, but these are the sort of things that you need to practice, especially for your weekend goal kicking, because, you know, unlike actual NRL players, we don't essentially have the consistent perfect conditions that they would have on like a game day. All right, when you guys are out there kicking, you know, it could be really windy, you know, the surface could be really bumpy, so your tee's not sitting right. So you need to make these little slight adjustments to make sure you're hitting the ball in the optimal way, you know. That's the last one. There you go. All right. But yeah, I don't know, I just figured because so many shots from the sideline, figured I might as well chuck this in here and I don't know, I guess sort of give you a brief mindset of what I think when I'm testing out tees and trying stuff out. So look, it works for me, maybe it'll work for you, hopefully it does. But yeah, I'll definitely have to give the tee another go another day. From what I've gathered from here, I definitely think I know the best way I should be hitting it now as opposed to how I was. But yeah, we'll give that a go another day. Until then guys, have a good one. Take it easy.